Us? No way. Paul Mashatile's Blue Light Brigade say they're not guilty for this violent assault caught on camera. South Africa's unfriendly economic policies threatening job security for thousands of people. 1 in 4 children in some schools are abusing the highly addictive and dangerous over-the-counter drug Codeine. And as Israel shuts down the Al Jazeera network, Palestinians are preparing for a brutal onslaught in Rafa. Hello, I'm Jane Dutton.
This is Eyewitness News.
A 5-story building in George has collapsed, trapping more than 40 construction workers. Humanitarian aid organisation Gift of the Givers says at least 4 people have been pulled alive from under the rubble. Emergency services and law enforcement agencies are on the scene trying to get to the remaining workers still trapped underneath the debris. No fatalities have been reported at this stage.
The street is being blocked off at the moment, and a number of disaster services, including George, Garden Route and Mossel Bay Disaster Services, are currently busy with the rescue operation. Local ambulances and SAPs are there as well.
Remember this, caught on camera for all to see. Deputy President Paul Mashatile's former bodyguards assaulting off-duty soldiers on the side of the N1 highway. Today, they entered a not guilty plea to all 11 charges against them. The 8 men are charged with 4 charges for the pointing of a firearm, 2 counts for reckless and negligent driving, 1 for malicious damage to property, 2 for assault, and 1 for attempting to defeat the ends of justice.
After a 6-month break for the state to finalize its investigations, the trial began in earnest today. However, before the first state's witness could be called, Magistrate Abdul Khan placed stringent conditions on how the media should report on this case. Khan says the media cannot identify any of the state's witnesses or report on their testimonies until after the trial. The magistrates also prevented television broadcasters from live streaming the court's proceedings and ordered their cameras remain unmanned throughout the trial. The first state's witness has testified today. However, Eyewitness News can only report on their testimony until after the trial. Thabiso Goba, Eyewitness News, Randburg.
The growing use and abuse of codeine, a pain relief medicine which many people often use in large doses to get high, a favourite of South African youngsters. 1 in 4 students, some as young as 15, are abusing codeine in some schools. Now, health authorities are developing a plan to track the supply of the drug from manufacturers all the way to patients. Will it help? Research in 4 township schools in Mpumalanga and the Free State found that about a quarter of grade 10 to 12 students said they had used codeine-based cough mixtures to get high. After more than a century, and the country's Shell might be pulling out of South Africa following an apparent fallout with their BEE partner. The oil giant employs tens of thousands of people. This after the news that global mining house BHP is proposing a takeover of Anglo American together with the divestment of local assets. Business analyst Kaya Sitole says South Africa is, quote, not necessarily on the verge of a divestment drive. Preparing for the worst, Palestinian families have begun fleeing parts of eastern Rafa. It comes ahead of an expected ground assault by Israeli forces in the southernmost city of Gaza. The army says Palestinians in eastern Rafa should move to an expanded humanitarian area. Israel has also closed down Al Jazeera there. It is the biggest network covering developments from the Strip. Operation Chanela's brutal strike against the rot in the country. 71,000 operations have netted more than 600,000 suspects. This week marks 1 year since the initiative aimed at clamping down on crime in high-density areas around the country.
We've had arrests under your contravention of your firearms, which is 3,418. We've also had arrests under your dealing in liquor, a total of 19,192. And we've also had possessions of counterfeit goods.
Selepe also said there have been thousands of arrests for driving under the influence, theft out of a motor vehicle, human trafficking and other crimes. Another fatal car crash claims another precious life. Actor Mpho Sebeng has died in a car crash at the weekend in Potchefstroom. The 31-year-old is known for his roles in Ring of Lies and Savage Beauty.
Your purpose will always be aligned with what you can do well. Thank you.
And it comes from somewhere there. It's not tangible, but whatever you can do well, there's always a greater reason for you doing it.
That was Mpho Sebeng during an interview on the Hustlers Corner SA podcast last November. 31-year-old Sebeng featured in a number of local shows and films and was perhaps best known for his work on Ring of Lies. He also starred in Winnie, the 2017 film based on former First Lady Winnie Madikizela Mandela's life. The Sebeng family says it appreciates the immense outpouring of love and condolences, but are requesting space to process the news for now. In the meantime, tributes have been streaming in on X, including from the South African government, which has called him a bright star. Bernadette Wicks, Eyewitness News.
Eyewitness News. In touch, in tune, and independent. For the latest, log on to ewn.co.za or ewn.mobi.